everyone, welcome. I'm Robyn Cavallaro. I'm a realtor here in Florida. It's Thanksgiving weekend. And in this episode, we're going to talk about 10 things that you as a buyer need to know what your realtor does for you in front and behind the scenes, from negotiating or selecting a home, negotiating, and closing. All the things that we do to help you make a great buying decision here in the Villages, Florida. Before I get started, a couple things. It's holiday season, so I want to remind you about my book. This is 236-page resource guide, all about everything you need to know about the Villages, Florida. This is the buying process. I have a section here that goes over all of the districts and the villages inside each district, so you know where you are. I have lists of hospitals. I have lists of urgent care facilities, restaurants, shopping guides, smart buying guides, all about the activities. Everything you need to know is here in this book. It is 236 pages, and also, if you want to have a little fun, there is a quiz here so you can figure out what your loofah color is. I thought that was kind of funny. But get it today for your friends and family. It is available on Amazon in print or in Kindle. And also, if you are on a shopping trip, you're going to want to make sure you get my home buying journal. This book has a section. There's a section here for everything. You can mark down any kind of repairs you think the home needs, everything from moving, getting lists of cleaners, and just everything you need to know about buying. This section here, you can record everything you need to know about the home, what village it's in, what the CDD is, does it need a roof, how old the roof is it MLS or VLS? Because when you're here on those shopping trips, you're looking for both. And then you can just attach right here on this blank page the listing so you remember what you're looking at. So you want to get those two things. And lastly, because I really do sleep, I wrote another book. I have 4 other books coming out I'm working on right now. This one, Skip the 9 to 5, this is if you want to get into real estate as a young person. You might have a niece or a nephew or a son or daughter or grandchild that they want to get out of the 9 to 5 job that they're in. This book will tell them how to get into real estate. Everything they need to know is in here. This is also available on Amazon in print, in paperback, and Kindle. Okay, so, all right, let me just start off with a real funny story. So it's Thanksgiving, and my daughter and son-in-law were going away for a couple of days, so I took the 2 girls. I'll show you here. I had Clara and Caroline from Sunday evening until my daughter came back Thanksgiving. And I had all these beautiful things planned. We went to the Crayola experience, which I'll just show you a little snippet here. And I was going to do a whole video about what to do with your grandchildren when you're here. So we went there on Monday. On Tuesday, Clara was supposed to take a cooking class for the kids' camps they have here. But Tuesday, we were going to run an errand, and just to make a long story short, both children got sick. Now, I don't know if the Crayola factory was a petri dish, because I got sick too as well. I have a cold. They had it was worse than that. So it was a fun couple of days. And we traveled, I took them out, we went out on the golf cart and stuff, but the Crayola factory was fun, or Crayola experience. We call it Crayola factory because back where I came from in Pennsylvania, Crayola factory was in Easton. We would take the kids. But anyway, it was fun, but I don't know if they picked up. And I picked it up there or what. But it wasn't, it was interesting a couple of days. So anyway, I'm back here, and I haven't done one of these sit-down videos in a hot minute. It's been really busy for me anyway. Since I got back from vacation, it's just been run, and I still have a lot of buyers. Buyers are back. Got nothing to do with snowbirds. The buyers are here. But if you are a buyer and you're buying here or from afar, you are going to want to stay to the end. And I try to make notes for these videos. Usually I just start talking because keep talking. Anyway, so number one, what you need to know is we're always working behind the scenes for you. So to start off with, if you're thinking about buying a home, again, these are the 10 things you need to know that we do for you on your behalf. First, and actually, I should just say we, but I mean me. This is my process. This might not be every other realtor's process, so you really need to find someone to work with. And so before we start, I'm just going to go back over that buyer-broker agreement. A lot of you don't want to sign them, and really, I know it's annoying and it's confusing, but we have to have these forms for you to see a home, because if we book them in something called showing time, if our broker goes through there and says, hey, I want to see this buyer-broker agreement, you showed this home, I have to give them this document. If the board comes looking for them, I could get fined $500 every single time you don't want to sign one of those things. And really, you can sign just a showing agreement. Hey, I want you to show me this house, or you sign the full agreement, which I do have on my website, and I'll put a link down below so you can take a look at it. We can make it for any period of time. It could be for a day, it could be for a week, it could be for a month, it could just be for particular homes. In there, we do have to put a commission rate that you would have to be responsible for if the buyer is not paying. But I've only come up against one deal, and I've said this now, this is 6-8 months. I've had one seller that wasn't paying the real estate commission, but the home was priced accordingly. We made our offer accordingly, and everything was fine. The buyer paid my commission. So, if the home's priced right, that they're not paying commission, then it doesn't really matter. So please don't give your realtor, whoever you're working with, a hard time. Just sign the darn thing. If you go to open house after open house, that's not really going to help you. And eventually, you will have to sign one of these agreements. So just make your life easy, sign the thing, and try to find the house. But find somebody that you want to work with. If you're not sure you want to work with them, then don't have them show you homes. Call, interview, meet them before you decide what you want to do. So number one, I should say, that's 11. We're going to make it number one. Sign a buyer-broker agreement. You have to do it. Okay, so number one, in the process, you and we have parameters. I search and analyze and look at all the properties that you're interested in. And also, I go in and find properties that match your criteria. And what I look for, and there are a lot of things that you won't see in the photos that I can see. Like, I can look and see if the carpet's good or bad, the countertops, if they're good or bad condition. I can, just by looking at so many homes that I've been in, check out the kitchen and say, this might need work, but at this price, I'm going to estimate it needs this amount of repairs. We probably could find a better buy at that price, or let's just look at higher priced homes. So you want somebody with experience that knows these properties and how to best match you with the property. We look for red flags. I still sell a lot of homes where the buyer has not toured them before they purchase them. I've done it. And I go in, and actually I have a video coming up. I'm going to go around with my inspector, and I'm going to show you the things that they look for, because that's a big concern. What's going to happen when we go into inspection and if I'm not happy with it. And that's a whole other video. I'm hoping to film that with Sean Sterner, who does a lot of my inspections, sometime this week, as I do have a couple of new contracts that went out. But I want to identify red flags that will cost you later so we can address them right up front. I research pricing so you are not overpaying. Now, I know a lot of buyers out there think, oh, you just want to raise the price so you get more commission. Well, I have to tell you, I'm obviously driven by money. That's why we're in this business. We have to make money. But if the price of home is $5,000 or $10,000 higher than you thought you were going to pay, we're making dollars. It's not like I'm going to go on a world cruise on the difference between that 5 and 10,000. That's probably $200 or $300. That is not enough for me to not have you trust me, or to lose a sale. So don't think that. We want to get you the best home at the best price. And by going into a lot of homes, I can really just walk in and say, oh, hey, I've seen this home, or I've seen homes like this, but I think, based on whatever the garage sizes are, if it's 2-car and a car garage, or it has this, it doesn't has this, you should probably pay about this. This is probably a little bit overpriced. But, and I've said this to many buyers, in this community, there are many times where you think, and we both agree, the home might be worth, whatever, $500,000. But the seller wants $550, $560, whatever they want, $570. But you really want that home. You love the home. You love the location. And if you still can afford it, sometimes you have to pay them what they're looking for, because they're not going to drop the price. And that does still happen here. Prices have come down. Yes, they've been coming down for a long time, but prices have stayed steady. Some sellers, don't budge. So just get in that frame of mind that you may end up having to pay a little bit more for a home based on its location and because you really want it. So just remember that. And when you make an offer, and we'll talk that a little bit, we talk a little bit about negotiation. I'm going to wait for that. We'll talk about the negotiation in a minute. When I take you out, I do estimate your property taxes. I find the bond and the CDD, and I estimate all that for you. So going into it, this is about what my new taxes are going to be, because that tax line on the listing is not always correct. It's based on whatever the purchaser, the home owner, what they paid for that home. Now, there could be 2 homes side by side, same price, but this home they've owned in a year, and this home they've owned it 10 years. So this home, the property taxes are going to be a lot less, because in Florida, it's based on the selling price. It's based on actually about 75 to 85% of the selling price. I do, and I'll put this in the description, I do have a link on my website where you can go and estimate the taxes. And instead of having to go to all the different counties, all you have to do on my site, here, I'll show you over here, is the drop down. You go to the page, you pick which section it's in, put the selling price, and then you can put in the bond and the CDD, and it'll estimate the taxes for you. So it's very simple. And again, it's a rough estimate. It is not a final number. Disclaimer, it is not a final number. You just have to throw that out there, because it could be the right number, but I have to throw the disclaimer out there that it might be off a little bit, but it's a very good, close estimate for you. And I do that. I make sure every one of my buyers knows how much the taxes and the bond is. I've had many instances, especially with the new homes, that the buyers go to the settlement table and they'll say, I didn't know there was a bond. I don't know how you didn't know there was a bond, because I know. Well, I shouldn't say I don't know with their contracts. With our contracts, you sign a CDD addendum. And I'll show you, it looks here just like this. In a listing, I print them, all of the realtors have them, that shows what the bond balance is, if there is any, what the CDD is annually, if there's a fire assessment, what it is in that county, and the annual bond payment that's paid in your tax bill, and the CD and the amenity fee. We have you sign those when you purchase a home, and it goes in the permanent file. We keep it. So it's there. You need to know that there always is bond. So I break down all those costs so you are not surprised. Make sure your realtor's doing that for you. That's her job. We're not here to just open up the door and say, oh, wow, isn't this pretty? Oh, I love the colors. Isn't that nice furniture? While you're walking in the home, I'm looking up in the corners, I'm looking around the vents, I'll look under the cabinets, I run the water, I'll test the disposal. I look for all the things that you're not. You're in there, oh wow, I really like this house, it's really cute. And I'm looking at the nitty gritty because I see all these homes. I can walk in like, it's all right, but might work for you, but let me look now closer. So I do that. I like to feel of myself as more of a consultant than just your realtor showing you a house and writing you up a contract. I want to guide you through that process because I want you to make the right decision. We write up the contract, we negotiate the price to get the best terms and protection for you. And that's price and terms. It's the inspection period. It's the escrow deposit. It's if you have a home to sell, we have to make sure you have a home sale of buyer's property addendum. That means if your home, and I did a whole video on this, can you purchase a home if you have a home to sell? Your home might still be on the market or ready to close. You have to put that home's sale of your property addendum into the contract. Because if your home does not sell wherever you're selling it and you need the money from that, you need to be able to get out of the contract and protect your escrow payment. So make sure you watch that video as well. So it's, the price, the escrow deposit, the terms, you're financing it, the inspection period. It might be a 1031 exchange. We have to manage that. 1031 exchanges for you business people who might have had a rental or a business, and now you need to roll that money over into other rental properties, business properties, so you don't pay capital gains. So we have to manage that. So we want to make sure that you are covered. And when it comes to the inspection, next section, we go to the inspection, we get the report, and based on the contract that it's written on, as is, or the standard contract, we make sure that all the items that are broken according to the contract are repaired. We get receipts for those. We go back and check and make sure that they're actually completed. If they're not completed, we go back and forth with the listing agent to make sure that those items are taken care of. So in my former life, I had a restaurant and we catered a lot of parties. And I would always hear, oh, the food is cheap. How come this job is so expensive? So catering jobs, just like selling a home, it's a 12-inch ruler. Maybe what you see, what you pay for represents 2 inches on that ruler. The time we were together, the time we spent on the phone. But there's 10 other inches that complete that job, that go on behind the scenes that we are doing. So you don't necessarily realize everything that we do to get the job done. And there are times where we've had a big behind the scenes problem, and I'll talk about this in a little bit, but where it's been taken care of without you even knowing it. And because we don't want to put you in, you're buying, you're here, and then you're gone, or you're not here at all. We want to make sure you're comfortable in that process. So we manage this through the inspection. Make sure everything is in English so you understand it. And if I don't have the answer, we get the answer for you. We keep everything on track. Now, I have a transaction coordinator. Her name is Christine. Once I write up the contract, I hand her the paperwork and any other addendums, the repair requests, she's the one that handles. She'll reach out to you with important deadlines and dates, and she's there to support. I'm always here throughout the process, but she handles all of that paperwork once the contract's written up. So there's actually 2 sets of eyes on your deal to make sure everything goes through smoothly. And I mean, the inspection part is very upsetting for most buyers because they don't know. So here in Florida, we'll see cracks in the foundation and like cracks in the ceiling. Like I have cracks in the center, not like in the middle, but where the tape meets and it'll start to, it's like crack a little bit. It's nothing. I see it everywhere. But because I see it everywhere, you don't. It's a little it's heartening for you and you're a little nervous about it. But if it's something that you should be worried about, I will tell you that. If it's something that I've seen that I don't think is an issue, I just tell you, I don't really think that's an issue because I see it all over the place. But of course, if you're upset, we find a way to rectify it or get it inspected so you have a better comfort level. So we keep track of the deadlines. We coordinate with the lender, the title company, inspectors, appraisers, so the job goes through smoothly. If you're financing, we are constant contact with the lender to make sure they're on target. They got the contract. You've applied for the loan. That, is there an appraisal? When will that happen? Where are they in underwriting? Has it been approved? Do we have a clear to close? When do we expect to close? So there's a lot of that going on back and forth. Even if you're getting a small loan, we have to manage that and make sure they're on track to get you to close on the date that we have in your for sale and purchase contract. We catch details sometimes, well, a lot of times that you would miss, or we manage the details. So we make sure, and the inspector does as well, that all permits are pulled and permits are closed out. Are there any insurance issues or any, sometimes people are buying the properties and they want to make sure it'll be good for resale. We go over those things. So we manage all of that. I did have a sale, I talked about this, this is a while ago, where my buyer was purchasing the property, but years ago they put on an addition and the permit hadn't been closed out. And I'm not going to get into all the details, but I told the buyer, I said, look, you can buy this home with this open permit. I would not advise that you do that because this room it was enclosed and they poured a concrete pad. I said, now, you will have the same problem when you go to resell this home. If you go to resell it, they're going to no permit. So if you do not want to have an issue, I would suggest you move on, or we have to push closing and we have to get this all rectified, because the last thing I want you to do is buy a home, 3 years, you decide, I want to move somewhere else. And then you have to rip down that enclosure because it wasn't inspected properly. So make sure your realtor's on the ball. We solve problems behind the scenes so you don't have to, and sometimes you don't know about it. If there's something you need to know, I make sure you know. But it's when we've exhausted every avenue, so you don't get upset and worried about the transaction. Now, I'm not hiding things from you, but there's certain things that'll come up that we can just fix or get taken care of without upsetting the buyer and the seller. That's what we do as realtors. So we are here as your advocate to protect you, your escrow deposit, and your transaction, and eventually your home. And lastly, and most importantly, we guide you through the entire process. So, and people come here on a power shopping trip. I explain this. So when you're wherever you live, you and whoever go out and look at, hey, you know what? We're thinking about buying a house. I saw one over here. Let's go look at this Saturday. People don't shop like that here because they're, for the most part, not here. They either come in for a week and they want to see all the homes that fit their criteria, all the homes that they've selected, or the homes they've selected and I've selected with them. So you want to make sure that you have enough time to get through that process, but it's exhausting and it's confusing, which is why, go back to, you need that to keep you on track. But you have us here as a major resource to make sure we guide you through that power shopping trip and through the contract, make sure everything is correct, and get you to closing and get you the keys so you can move your stuff on in and go out having some fun. So with that said, your realtor is worth every penny that they get, because another thing is, I've been with plenty of people and showed them 15, 20 homes and they don't buy. They go to another community, they change their mind, or they go buy a new home and I lose the sale to the Villages. That happens. So if you don't buy from us, we don't get paid. And we still do incur expenses, but you're paying us for our expertise. You're not paying, well, you don't pay us. The seller basically is paying us through the commission. You're paying it because you're buying the house, but you're paying us for our expertise. That's what you're paying for. Whether I'm with you for 20 minutes or 20 hours, I'm bringing years of experience to the table, to you, to make sure you make the right decision. It's just like when you go to a physician. You want the most experienced doctor because they have a wealth of information and education behind them. Maybe that's why they cost a lot more money. Same with the realtor. You're paying a realtor a lot of money in the sale of the home. You want to make sure that you have the best person possible working for you. All right, everyone. I'm Robyn Cavallaro. Happy Thanksgiving weekend. Happy holidays. Don't forget, get your book for your friends or yourself. Treat yourself today. All right, thank you so much for watching this episode. And if you enjoyed this, you might want to check out another couple episodes here. I think you'll like them. Until next time, I'll see you.